Hi, my name is Steven and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to manage your time using the 4 Quadrants tool. So today I'm going to be talking to you about a simple tool that I use to help me manage my time. I have used this tool in the past to help me prioritize what needs to be done right away. This is basically a tool that is broken into 4 different sections, and you bucket things that you want to do in each of these 4 sections. This is really powerful for me because it organizes my thoughts and helps me plan ahead on what tasks to do first. And this tool is really good if you have multiple things that you need to get done right away. It helps you prioritize the things that you need to do first. And it also gives you a priority to do the less urgent tasks as well. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about why you should use this tool, how it's helped me in the past, and what are some of the quadrants and what they mean. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, hit that notification bell if you found this to be useful. And let's do this. So let's first talk about why this is useful. Using this 4-quadrant time management tool helps you free up your mind with the process. Every time when we try to multitask or do multiple things at once, we usually create a new mental map. It's a way we use our brain to make sure we map out the things that we need to do to finish that one task. And I find this to be very inefficient, especially if we have a lot of things that we have to do and we can easily forget a lot of things. So this quad chart really frees up our mind because it allows us to put each task that we need to accomplish in different buckets. And once we put it in different buckets, we can think about it differently. We don't have to worry in our brains what we need to do that's important and urgent and something that's not important and not urgent. Once we put it in these different buckets, it's much easier to think about tasks individually because we know we need to focus on the urgent and important tasks first and save the rest for later. And once you have these in different buckets, you can focus your energy on each different quadrants when you have the time. Number 2, it organizes your tasks into different categories. Tasks in life aren't black and white. You can't do them all right away and you can't put them off forever. Organizing tasks in this manner allows your brain to focus on each quadrant separately. And it helps by grouping things together so you can work more efficiently on those tasks. And number 3, it eliminates overthinking. It helps us to focus on the task and what it means to us. Not everything can be critical or important. Some tasks require a lot of thought and you need to get back to it to plan for it later. Most of the problems and tasks that we need to do competes for our limited attention. And whatever we're most passionate or emotionally invested in the task, it's going to get our attention first. And you definitely don't want that if you have some important but boring task that you need to get done. So when we group our tasks together, we're not overthinking whether it's urgent, whether it's important, whether it's not important. So in grouping these tasks together, it eliminates our overthinking of important and critical tasks and also helps us to have an equal assessment of everything else that we need to do that's not urgent or important. So now let's talk about the 4 quadrants of time management. So there are a lot of different ways online that people have described this 4-quadrant tool. These are the best descriptions for me to understand this time management tool. So number 1, do it now. As the name implies, these are the most important and critical tasks that you need to get done. In this quadrant, all the tasks must be completed as urgently or as soon as possible. Obviously, urgent and important is different for every one of us, so I'll leave that up to your judgment. But it's usually a task that if not done immediately or urgently, then it will cause you some discomfort, whether financial, whether health related, something that needs to be solved right away. And generally things in this quadrant are very easy to identify. There should be no difficulty in trying to find out what is urgent and important to you. So number 2, plan it. These are tasks that are larger in scope and usually require significant planning to complete. Think weddings, term papers, long-term goals that you have. And it's generally something that takes longer than a day, maybe a week, maybe longer. And usually once you put things down in this category, it requires additional time invested for you to plan out how to complete that task. But it's definitely good to know what kind of tasks are in the plan it phase. It helps you plan for it later. But it's generally good to know ahead of time what kind of tasks are in the planet category. Because later down the line, you can allocate some time for you to actually plan out that task. And these tasks are generally easy to identify, but harder to complete. Because generally in this category, things will take planning to complete and it will have a longer time horizon. Number 3, delegate it. These are tasks that comes up to you that are important, but not urgent. Things that come up abruptly and really demand your attention right away. Think of an urgent phone call for someone, last-minute plans you want to attend, or some administrative fix that requires your attention. These are tasks that, if you can, delegate it to someone else. Now, obviously, it's easier for you to delegate it if you're in a business-type setting. But if you're by yourself, delegate it could mean after you complete your urgent important tasks, then you get back to those tasks. Tasks in this section are harder to identify because each of us judges urgent and important things differently. So it's really up to you whether or not you consider it urgent and important or urgent and not important. And number 4, drop it. Things in this category you can move on and forget about. Generally, think of things that are busy work, time wasters, or things that doesn't recharge your energy. Things in this category are not urgent and not important. They come in forms of opportunity cost. Generally, things here can be put off indefinitely. It's not important for you to try to accomplish them, and it doesn't really have any urgency. These are things that might be fun, might be interesting, but generally I don't have any urgency to complete or do. And sometimes when I'm just trying to kill some time, I do tasks from this category. But for the bulk of the things that I do, I generally don't complete tasks in this category. Usually tasks in this category are pretty easy to identify because of the fact that they don't contribute to the overall goal of what we're trying to do. When a task is not urgent or not important, it's easier for us to just put off until later. And that later can result in us not doing it at all. So now let's talk about some of the general thoughts I had about using this quad chart. There are a lot of different ways this quad chart is represented on the internet. You generally have to find the best one that suits you. There's no one size fits all, and there's many different ways you can interpret any one of these categories. Some of these quad charts that I found are project-based, life-based, and or time management based. They all have a little bit of difference from each other, but generally they all help you categorize different tasks. This tool has really helped me when I had a lot of different things going on in my life. It helps me to organize things into different buckets. It helps me to focus my mind on things that I need to do right away and what I can put off and plan for later. But one of the biggest drawbacks of this time management tool is that everything is up to our interpretation of what is urgent and what is important. There's no one universal set of definitions for us. This is good in the sense that we can put whatever we want into each one of these boxes and we're not overly constrained. But the downside of that is it's up to each individual to determine what that is. Because for some people, they might think everything is urgent or everything is important, but that's just not the case in real life. So for those people who have difficulty in determining whether something's urgent, not urgent, important, or not important, it's going to be hard for them to bucket them in different categories. They might not be able to use all 4 quadrants and might end up just grouping it into 1 or 2 boxes. If I were to make a modification to this quad chart, I would make it more of a triangle. So I would use only 3 sections to simplify this a little bit. I would have urgent, not urgent but important, and not important. In this way, you can bucket all the tasks that are not important into 1 box and leave the important and urgent stuff for priorities 1 and 2. So that's my intro into the 4 quadrants and time management. It is an excellent tool to organize all your tasks into simple buckets. It is an excellent way for anyone to increase their efficiency and organization when trying to complete multiple tasks at once. The true power of this tool lies in the fact that you can think about tasks before you start doing them. So you organize everything before you start working on the task. In this way, all the tasks that you need to do are on equal playing field. They all get the same attention, at least in the beginning. So you don't end up forgetting all the things that you need to do. And so be sure to take advantage of all the different quad charts online. All of these charts are geared towards different things, so find out the one that makes the most sense to you. So thank you for watching. Please be sure to comment down below on what you think of the 4 quadrants of time management and whether or not it would help you. And I'll see you next time.